Now that we have identified our last row, we can enter formulas to compute our distinct orders and sum our revenue, tax, total sale, and undiscounted sales columns. Unlike our earlier instance where we used a formula in our log to file action, this time we will learn how to configure the action to have our bot write an Excel formula precisely into our CSV file. Just like other times that we have used the log to file action, we begin by telling the bot where to locate the CSV file that we would like to write the data into. Because this is our last step of our main bot program and we haven't closed our CSV file, our bot is ready to write the data into the last row of our CSV file. Most of these Excel formulas may be familiar because they are computing the sum of various columns. The sum formula starts with row 2 because that is the first row that our bot wrote data into after the header row. An important caution: if you start with row 1, your formula will return an error because Excel cannot add the text in the header row with the rest of the numeric data in the column. We used the last row variable created in the previous video to identify the end row for our sum formula. Using the last row variable allows our bot program to automatically adjust to the number of lines of data for our state. The first formula may be less familiar. The first formula is an Excel formula that works with both older and newer versions of Excel to compute the distinct number of orders shipped into your state. If you have a newer version of Excel, you may be able to replace this first formula with Excel's unique formula. If you want to look up alternate formulas, remember, for this step, we are programming the bot to enter an Excel formula into the CSV file, not a formula for A2019. One final note: the extra commas above are not typos. Since a comma-separated values or CSV file identifies columns by delimiters, such as the comma in our case, the extra commas tell the bot to skip that column of data in the CSV file and go to the next column to the right. If your formulas are not writing into the appropriate column, double-check that you did not add an extra comma or that you're not missing a comma. When configuring the log to file action, make sure to select these options. Let's get into A2019 to see how we can program our bot to write these Excel formulas precisely into our CSV file. Navigate up to the Log to File Actions menu and click once to open it. Double-click on Log to File to move the Log to File action onto your workbench. You should now have 20 actions on your workbench. Just like the other times that we have used the log to file action, we start by telling the bot where to locate the CSV file that we want to write the data into. Click on the Browse button and use the File Explorer to locate your CSV file. Now that we have told the bot where to locate the CSV file, we can enter our Excel formulas into our Enter Text to Log box. We are going to start by typing in a comma because we are not going to put a formula into column A. This column contains both our timestamps and our record IDs. Instead, our first formula is going to be our formula to compute the distinct number of orders shipped into our state. Type equals and then type sum product. Careful with your spelling. Open your paren, type the number 1. Then type a slash, since this indicates that we are dividing. Then type count if, and open another paren. We are going to start all of our formulas with row 2, and since we are in column B, we are going to provide the exact cell reference of B2 for our formula to begin. Then type a colon. We're going to type another B since we want to perform this formula for the data in column B only. And here we want to complete our range by entering our last row variable. To do this, we're going to click on our X in parens and we're going to select the last row variable from our list. Make sure that you're at the end using the end key and type in a comma. Now let's finish out our formula. Type in B2, a colon, and B, and then put in another last row variable reference. Again, make sure you're at the end, and then finish this formula with 2 parens. Remember, this is not Automation Anywhere's A2019 formula. This is an Excel formula. We want to program A2019 to write this Excel formula precisely as we have typed it, after A2019 substitutes the numeric value for the last row variable. This ensures that the formula will be retained in the CSV file, so that we and others can verify that the formula is operating the way that we expect. Additionally, as this formula is currently written, we would have a problem. Because this formula contains a comma, and we are writing data into a CSV file, this formula would actually be split across 2 columns. What characters did you learn about earlier that tell many programs, not just A2019, but Google searches as well, to interpret a string precisely as typed? If you said quotations, you are correct. Good job. We're going to place quotations around all of our formulas so that the bot will type the formula precisely as we typed it into the text-to-log box. Navigate to the front of the formula and type in a quotation, then use your end key to type in your ending quotation. As you will see when you open your CSV file using Excel, Excel will compute the formula. You can compare the output from this step to the output from the formula used in step 8 that was written into our undiscounted revenue column to see both the programming as well as the output difference. We don't want to sum the data in all of the columns. Instead, we are going to skip several columns so that we only sum the data in certain columns. Since we are writing into a CSV file, we tell both programs to skip columns by entering commas. Type in 4 commas. Now that we are in column F, we can start our summation formula. Type a quotation, hit equals, type sum, open a paren, type F2, since we are in column F and we want the formula to begin in row 2. Type a colon, and then type the ending range, which is going to be F, and again, we're going to use our last row variable to tell the bot where to end this range. Use your end key to get to the end of the formula. Close your paren and type a quotation. Repeat this process to put in the remaining formulas. You can expand the Actions menu and double-check these formulas against your instructions. If the formulas return an error, are not in the correct column, or are not operating, go back and double-check that your formulas start on the correct row. Do not extend past the row that you're writing the formulas into. This will cause a circular reference error. And have the correct number of commas, and finally are in quotations. We want to again select the option to append the timestamp and leave the default to append to existing log file because we want the formula row to be added to the data that was written into our CSV file. You can leave the encoding as ANSI. Once you've verified all of your options, click Save and close your Log to File menu. Excellent job! You have now completed the main portion of your bot program. In the next video, you will see the bot program run. If your bot program does not run as you expect, there are a number of troubleshooting hints provided throughout all of the videos.